Hello there. It is Elizabeth tuning in. It is Tasty Yes Tuesday, and here I am talking to you about some of the key lessons that some of the guests that I invited here today have learned for 2021 with their marketing and their sales and what they're going to do differently for 2022. So before I bring them here to join me, I'm going to just do a quick tech check. If you are catching me here on the live stream, say hello to me. Let me know if you are here on the live or the replay. I always love to see who is catching me here. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm up and running. Looks like I am. Let me know if you are awesome. Here. So today I'm going to be bringing two business owners that are also clients of mine that I thought would be great just to share some of their biggest lessons for 2021. What were some of their biggest lessons for 2021 with their marketing and their sales? And most importantly, what they're going to do differently for 2022 as they think about how to grow their business. You know, I often say that you are the cause, money and success is the effect, right? And in order for us to grow our business, we also have to grow ourselves. And a lot of that time means slowing down in your business, taking a look back at one, how far you've come, and two, what are the key lessons and what is it that you're going to take from those key lessons and do differently to move forward. Oftentimes, many business owners are looking for the latest, next sexiest, brightest strategy, the next greatest tactic to launch. But oftentimes it's not really about the newest and the latest and the greatest and the brightest thing. It's really about what's working for you and what's not. One of the things that you're going to find as we step into 2022 is that I'm going to be creating a bigger community here right inside of the Hybrid CEO where we are charging more and working smarter. I'm going to start inviting guest experts to share and teach their insights and their expertise here inside of the community. One of the things that I'm really passionate about, as you know, is that representation matters to me. Getting more diverse entrepreneurs launched into the market, heard, seen, and well paid is something that I'm very passionate about. And there is, in 2022, there is no slowing down to make that happen. But most importantly, relationships matter to me. And those that do business with me or collaborate or partner with me, I'm telling you right now that I am all about creating a tide that lifts all ships. In today's episode, I want to invite you to just hear from Kajol Shang and Leah Yang, and I'm going to bring them here in a little bit here, about some of their key lessons in marketing and sales for 2021 and what they're doing differently in 2022. Oftentimes, folks, it is not the latest and brightest and sexiest tactic or strategies that you need to execute on. Oftentimes, it's back to the fundamentals. It's understanding and having people in your corner to help you understand the right priorities to work on so that you are getting the right results. That is key, right? So let me go ahead and introduce you to Kajol Shang and Leah Yang. I am going to bring them here on the screen. Good morning, ladies, or good
Good
afternoon.
morning.
So where are you tuning in from today?
Hello, everyone. I am from Minnesota.
Mm,
Good morning, everybody. I'm from Fresno, California.
so great. Well, thanks for joining me here today. I thought it would be fun as we begin to wrap up 2021 to have you on here to not only get a chance to really share your journey and your lessons with this community, but really share really what you're working on, some of the offers that you're working on, obviously with the holiday sale, as well as the collaboration that we pulled together. As I, think about for me in 2022, one of the things that I'm going to be really focused on is relationships, win-win relationships. And that means to me, collaborations and partnerships that really creates a tide to lift many more ships. So as folks are tuning in, say hello, drop some presents to say hello that you're here. But with that, why don't we go ahead and introduce ourselves? Leah, I'm going to start with you and then we'll move on to Kashua. So tell us what you do and who you are.
So, My name is Leah Yang, and I'm a dip nail expert. I do nail services, but I also last year developed a program where I teach women how to do their own nails from home called the Glassy Shine Fast Track. And so that's what I do.
Love it. Thanks, Leah. And Kajwa, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gajra Xiong. I am the founder of the Vibrant Again Method. I run a 6-month program working with ambitious professionals one-on-one to help them to go from feeling lack of sleep, feeling tired, to the opposite of that, getting more sleep and being more energized and being more present. And so that's what I do.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. You know, what's really important for me going into 2022 is really win-win relationships. And I think sometimes many business owners, when they want to grow their business, get consistent sales, get so caught up in like the next shiny thing to do. And I thought it would be fun to invite you here to really have a real conversation about what it's taken you to really grow your business to the point of where it's at now. You know, I get the fortunate honor of really working alongside you to really see your growth and where you're at now. But I thought it would be fun for us to really just start with as you take a look right back at 2021 and you've looked at your growth and your success. And this could also be measured in terms of sales, but just like personal development or things that maybe you thought were impossible that's now possible. Like, what are some things that you're learning about yourself as you look back, or if you thought, what 2021 meant for you? Who wants to kick us off?
I can get us started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started this journey with Elizabeth back in February of 2021, and just reflecting about just the past few months compared to where I am right now, it is night and day. Comparing like my visibility online to where I was before. I was a cricket, like no one knew what I was doing. And yeah, so definitely learned so much in terms of like marketing and sales. And, to what Elizabeth shared earlier, it really comes down to relationship building, which is something that, I can share more later. But I mean, it took me 6 months to quit my job, and that's something that I never anticipated as I hopped on this journey with Elizabeth. And so when I say night and day, it is like my world has been flipped. My world has been flipped, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
what is
goodness.
this other side that I'm on? And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love that. And I know that for Kajwa, this is, one of the things that we often talk about is like having the entrepreneur mindset and not the super employee mindset, right? And so when Kajwa says to you that it took her 6 months to quit her job and it's been like night and day, her mindset has literally been having to shift night and day too, from employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset. And I know we're gonna talk about key lessons in marketing and sales, but Kacho, is there anything off the top of your head that you can think of that really was from a mindset perspective that you had to shift from thinking like a super employee to thinking like an empowered CEO entrepreneur?
I think the number one factor that really helped with the mindset was who I was surrounding myself with. And I know, Elizabeth, you and I talked about this,
Yeah.
was when you know that you are the most ambitious person in the room, you need to switch circle. And that's definitely what I needed to do, quit my job so I could be with other ambitious professionals. But it was really that mindset of facing, I don't know, like what I can think of right now is like just really facing my fear and not being afraid to become successful in what I'm doing, following my dreams.
Yeah. And I know you and I have talked about, the fear of failure and fear of success. And I know that fear of success was something that, we have often openly talked about, right? It was really fear of success being the fear that you would be so successful that you would leave those that you care about behind or somehow isolate others. And if you're watching this and you're a giver and you've got a big heart and you're compassionately ambitious, that is a common fear. I think that's more of a common fear for some of us who are givers than the fear of failure alone, is the fear of success. Like we're somehow going to become successful and it's going to isolate us or leave people behind, right? So,
And I think to tie that into my yoga business, before working with Elizabeth, I had this giving mindset of like, I'm just going to give free yoga sessions to my community because I love and I care about them and I want everybody to practice yoga. And that didn't really take me anywhere. I did that for 3 months, free yoga sessions once a week. And I didn't get consistent clients. It was all donation based. I made like $300 in the 3 months that I did that. And so yeah, and now like switching into what I'm doing and offering a 6 month program, having quality clients who are invested in their own transformation makes me a better coach, and it gives them the transformation that they're looking for.
yeah, it's huge. High quality customers are definitely less maintenance because they already are very clear that they have a problem, and they are very humble enough to say, I can't do this by myself. And I really want to work with someone who can really get me to the other side. So they're a little bit further along in their journey, which I really appreciate as well, too. What about you, Leah? As you think about 2021 and how far you've come in your own personal growth as well as your business growth, what are some key lessons for you as you look back that you want to just share with the audience? And this could be, in general or just, with marketing or sales, but what strikes you as you think about your own growth and where you're at in your business as like looking back in 2021 were some of your biggest lessons?
So yeah, I started working with Elizabeth over a year ago, this past October, and it has been a game changer for me too. Um, just like Kazuo said, I went from, being a nobody knows what I do, to having a optimized profile, so that now people look at my page, they automatically know, oh, this is what she does, yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm not, but I think one of the key lesson for me is really stepping into that entrepreneur mindset, and quit trying to and I know this sounds weird, but we all go into business so that we can have control of our time, right? Well, when I first started my entrepreneur journey, it's like I'm in control of my time. So if I have time, then I'll work on my business. If something comes up, my business gets, put aside. I'm doing this first because I have control of my time. But what I found out in 2021 was me not knowing my boundaries. I was, putting too much of my time into other things and not into my business.
Mm,
And so, really that entrepreneur mindset of, hey, my business is going to be my bread, and I need to focus my time into my business and take it more serious, like a regular job. If you work a regular job, something comes up on the weekend and you're scheduled to work, you don't just like, oh, I'm going to go to this event and then, I'll catch up the next day.
yeah.
But with my own business, it was so easy for me to do that, to keep putting it aside. And so going on to 2022, I'm really going to really plan out my schedule and really go by my calendar, to make myself responsible for my business and to really show up for my business the way that it deserves.
I
If
love
I
that.
want it to grow, hey, I got to put in that time and be committed to it.
I
So
love
that's
that,
my
Leah.
take.
That's so powerful because many people love the idea of being an entrepreneur, of having their own time, right? Like they're like, I just want to be in control of my own time and have complete flexibility, right? But there's no sales. It's like you have control over that, but it's like you're broke or you're struggling, right? And we know that the beauty of having a business is the flexibility of our schedule. But to your point, and I love what you said because, see, as an employee, we still show up 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, clock in and out, regardless if we feel like it, regardless if like regardless if we feel like it, regardless if we're struggling with daycare for our kids, we still come in because we have to. But when it comes to our business, somehow we don't give ourselves the same commitment, right? Like we're like, oh, there's no kids, there's no daycare. So, I'm just going to watch the kids. And all of a sudden it's like, daycare for you is like 1 week. And now all of a sudden it's 2 weeks. And now it's like, oh, now that your mother-in-law knows that you're home, and she's like, hey, can you watch so-and-so's kids? And all of a sudden you're watching your kids and their kids, because all of a sudden you're just like stay-at-home mom now, right? I mean, true story. That happened to someone I knew. So, oftentimes you don't commit the same way you do to a job. And I love what you brought about that. It's a big lesson for those that are watching, is to challenge yourself to say, do I commit like the same level of effort and commitment to my business as I did or as I would if I was an employee? Yes, you have flexibility, but do you still have to, quote, figure out how many hours I want to work and still make up those hours, because there's still things that need to be done in your business. Sales isn't going to come from being invisible. Sales comes from being visible. Sales doesn't come if you're a nobody and nobody knows what you do. You've got to be somebody to command premium pricing and be that number one choice for your customers. So you have to be visible. It is a non-negotiable in your business. So I love that you brought that up, Leah. The other thing that I thought was really interesting that, Leah also brought up, if you're watching us, is really like busyness on just working really hard on a whole bunch of things. Okay. I often say you can work really hard, you can be super busy, but that is not a guarantee or an entitlement to sales and success. And a big part of, really understanding that you are the entrepreneur in your business, the CEO, you are the department of your IT, finance, legal, everything in your department that you could think of in a company, you are in your business, that you've got to work on the right priorities. I call those the big dominoes, that once you knock it out, it knocks out everything else. And that is such a big problem for business owners, is the ability to prioritize, right? And so I'm glad that you brought that up, Leah, as like a key lesson for 2021 as well. So thank you for sharing that.
I just want to add on to that.
Yeah.
I think that what you said there completely changed my mindset in terms of becoming an entrepreneur, is working on the right thing at the right time. And this was something that, as a 9-to-5 employee, I'm just like, well, I have my schedule. I'm going to meet with these students. Like, there was really no pressure. And I had a week, I had a whole month, I had a whole semester to work on these projects.
Yeah, right.
Whereas as an entrepreneur, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to know what I'm working on, because like you said, there is a domino effect to that. And so working on the right thing at the right time was the hardest thing for me to figure out, like, what is the right thing? and that sometimes, like for like a whole day, I could spend a whole day just working on drafting a post, drafting an email that could lead to thousands of dollars, and so, and can I share this really quickly, Elizabeth?
Go for it. Yeah.
I did a post, I wrote a post that I shared my story on, and I posted it 1 month, like back in August. And then one month later, I recruited a client who got on a call with me, and she said she referenced that one post that I put out there a month ago, and she became a client.
Mm-hmm.
So these are working at the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, it's so huge, because let's keep it real, whether you're in startup or growing your business and you have a team, right? Like, busyness in your business doesn't go away. You're a solopreneur, your to-do list never ends. You have a team, you have to help them prioritize their to-do list along with your own to-do list, so that everyone's on the same page and synced and working towards the right direction, right? No one's to-do list ever gets done. And I think that's the hardest thing that, when we think about the employee mindset and shifting it to the entrepreneur mindset, is that, getting a whole bunch of things done in your business, working long hours and putting in like tons of hours, is not a badge of honor, right? It's not a badge of honor. You are just being a super employee who is overworked and underpaid. And you will hit burnout and drop out of the race before you even really start, right? And so it's really important, I think, to really recognize that in your business growth, being an empowered CEO means you have to say yes to what you really want in order to understand what you need to say no to. And that you need to protect your time and your energy like it is like much more valuable than money and gold. Because if you are spending your effort working on the wrong things, no matter how busy you are, you will not see the momentum and the traction that you want in your business, which I think is huge inside of your business as you're looking to grow your business, right? So, folks, as you're watching this and you've got questions for myself, for Kajua, or for Leah, go ahead and just drop that into the comments. What are some of the things that you have learned in 2021, key lessons in your business that you want to share with our community? One of the things that you're going to find here with me is that I'm all about growing and learning together. So, share with us, what's a key 2021 lesson that you've learned in your business that you can share here with our community and pass it on and pay it forward to the group here too. So thank you for sharing that, Kajua. That's actually one of the reasons why I love the online space, is because you work really hard to create online content and then you put it out there and you just never know when it's going to come back full circle, right? So I think that's huge for you. Now, let's really talk about sales and marketing in your business. As you've looked at 2021 and you just thought about really the key lessons for your own growth, let's get really granular and tactical. I often say that, when it comes to charging more in your business, I was just having a conversation with someone yesterday about this. And she said, Elizabeth, she asked me, what does it really take to charge more in your business? And I said, it's more than just adding a whole bunch of zeros to your price point, right? Your marketing has to be 80% of your effort. Whereas then your sales, which is really just the transaction, exchange, the details, the logistics, right, of where the exchange is going to happen, should only be 20% of your effort, right? Marketing and promotion, right? I would put marketing as 80% of your work, sales and promotions is really 20% of your effort, right? And so you have to make sure that both of these, they're like seesaws, right? They're like both ends of a seesaw are balanced in a way that when you sell or you promote, it doesn't come across as sleazy, but rather classy, right? We know that sales is based on trust. That, I think, is common universal knowledge. But when you're selling premium and you're creating a premium brand, premium packaging, solving a premium problem, trust is even more important because you're asking for more dollars from people. So when we say that relationships matter, it matters even more in selling higher price points, in creating a premium brand. So I'll throw this to you, Leah, since I started with Kajal last time. When you think about 2021, whether it's your marketing and or your sales, like what are some of the key lessons that you've learned with your marketing and your sales in your business?
I've learned that if you throw the right message out there, it's like casting a net, for your MVPs, right? And if you are able to put together the right message that speak to your MVP, you'll catch, a few of those fishes into your business, right? But that's what it takes, is the right message. And so for me, over looking back on 2021, was trying to develop my messaging so that I can get across to the people who will value my services and my products, and who will trust me because I have what they need. Of course, what I have is not for everybody, and I'm not trying to throw generic content out there, just for anybody that wants any kind of nails. No, my messaging has to be specific, and it has to speak to my MVP. So that's one of my key lessons, is that once you have that messaging out there, it automatically attracts those people, your MVPs, and they're contacting me for more information instead of me having to chase them down and try to get them interested. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you put the right message out there, you get the right people who wants you and not the other way around.
I love that. And for those that are watching that are not familiar with MVP, it's one of the things that I teach inside the Customer Yes Lab, which is your most valuable paying customer. So yes, many marketers are telling you, yes, throw your messaging out there, throw your marketing, speak to your ideal customer. But one of the things that you'll find that I teach my clients very differently is that there's a good, a better, and a best version of your customer, of your ideal customer. The best version is the premium, most valuable paying customer version, because they're the ones that, like Leah said, value what you do. They value investing at a higher price point because they value quality. They're not the bargain shoppers looking for, transactions and looking for quick fix. They want an experience. They want quality. They want what Leah's got, which is her expertise, her quality products, her leadership and service and teaching and showing you how to do your own nails. Like these are like your people out there that love everything that your brand, and they love your heart. They love what you stand for, and they love what you bring to the table. Like, it's not about your skills or the thing that you're selling. When we say it's your brand, it's more than just your logo and colors, right? I hate to use the word brand because many times when I say brand, people think of aesthetics, but it's really your leadership. I often say that, creating a premium brand is about stepping into your leadership, because you have to demonstrate through your marketing and messaging to your MVP, right? That you know the way, you are the way, and that you can show them the way through your services and products. And I can tell you that, for Leah, her growth has been so tremendous. When Leah said they start DMing you, that's what I wish it could be like every day. Like, I feel like that makes our lives so much easier when our clients are messaging us and sending us DMs that they want to work with us, right? So I love that. That's a really great lesson for those that are watching. And we have someone here who says, Mel says, love, love, love. Absolutely. When you are working with high quality clients that are loyal to you, that love not only what you provide them, but what you do, it makes a huge difference. It really does. Because in today's world, not all customers have to be loyal to you, right? They don't have to be loyal to you. There's so many different options out there as well, right? So thank you for sharing that, Leah. Kajo, what about you? Like, when you look back in 2021, what's a key sales or marketing lesson that you've learned? And Leah, I'll come back to you on sales too, because I know that you shared the messaging, which is really your marketing. But Kajo, what about you? What are some key lessons that you've learned, and what are you going to do differently in 2022?
So in terms of marketing, the biggest game changer for me was creating my Facebook group. And this was something that I did not understand until, until I came into this journey.
Because I can tell you, I have some pet peeves about community groups. There's so many things I can say about that. But what are some of the things that's been a game changer for you that you didn't understand before?
I just thought, I have a business Facebook page. Why isn't that enough? And I started with that. That's what I had established before I joined Elizabeth. And she kept pushing, like, you need to create a Facebook group. You need to create a Facebook group. And for me, it's like I'm part of all these Facebook groups, right, Elizabeth? But I'm not engaged in them. And so why do I need to create a Facebook group for yoga, right? And but that has been a game changer for me because, to your point, people buy you for your leadership. They buy you if they like and they know you and they trust you. And so in my Facebook group, I go live every Thursday. And I don't even talk about yoga poses. I don't even demonstrate any yoga moves. I just talk and I share about yoga philosophy, and I share, things that matter to people, right? And for example, one of my clients who's in my program right now, it took her 5 months 5 months for her to say yes to me, because she was in my container. She was in my Facebook group. She came to all my lives, liked, commented, engaged with me. And she finally said yes to me 5 months afterwards. So it's like, that was such a game changer for me. And I love it. I love it because it gives me the engagement that I don't get in a Facebook page.
I love that. And in just a moment here, if you don't mind, Kajo and Leah, I'd love for you to also drop your Facebook group link into the comments here so that folks, if they want to follow you or join you, they can go ahead and do that. So, I love that Kasha brought that up, because one of the common mistakes that I know that I've learned really early on in my business, and especially in 2021, as I'm coaching and talking to business owners, is that they often look at their business, especially Facebook community groups, and they say to themselves, this is such hard work. Like, this is so hard, right? And, and I'll be honest with you that, Facebook, now known as Meta, are doing some amazing developments and investments into growing their groups. Okay. They want to turn groups into communities, right? And so if you're watching this, whether you are a business owner that has a local brick and mortar, or you're, an online business owner, or maybe you're a hybrid, meaning that you have an online income stream and then you also have a in-service, in-person income stream as well, is that you want to think about your Facebook group as really a container to really demonstrate why you're so passionate about what you do. Okay, let me just say that again. You want your community group to really be a community where you demonstrate why you're so passionate about what you do and how you can add value to your audience. Okay. A client of mine often looked at her Facebook group as educational, and she would just put tips in there. And I would say, no, 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 we just don't want to educate. Okay. We want to demonstrate your passion as well as educate and show them how you can help them. And I love what Kajwa said here too, because she's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to, like, inside my Facebook group, show different yoga poses every day or every week? And if I do that, then what's left in my program, right? And I'm like, Kashwa, you don't have to do the poses and show everything that's inside your program. What you've got to show is you've got to talk to your audience. Again, relationships. You've got to be having conversations with them. What are they struggling with? What's preventing them from even trying yoga? What are those limiting beliefs? What are those stereotypes that you need to bust so that they say yes to themselves and try yoga, right? Those are all the things that you can talk about during your lives inside of your community group, right? So I love that you brought that up. And that's so powerful for you if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I have a community group. I don't get a lot of engagement, right? Or I don't know if it's working. I don't know if it's working. And oftentimes the common mistake is people will have a community group, and either one, they're not being honest to themselves where they want to monetize. Okay. And I think that's the first mistake you're going to make. If you open up a Facebook group and you are not honest, you are not claiming your sales that you want to monetize, boom, that lack of honesty, that lack of transparency will hurt you with your audience. Because later on, when you decide to monetize, they're going to turn around, they're going to look at you, and they're going to say, why weren't you just being honest in the first place? Okay. And two, the second mistake that most people make with their groups is they don't have a clear path for conversion, right? They give and give inside their groups, and they're hoping and praying that people will see value and that it will work. But I can tell you right now that you've got to have conversation, and there is a clear a clear path to conversion that you need to be very intentional about inside of your group in order to get the sales that you want. So thank you for that. And I love here. So Leah shared her Facebook group too. If you are a dip nail DIY, right, queen, and you want to learn more, Leah is always coming up with great designs. She's always giving tips inside there. And some of her, like, oh my goodness, when people love dip nails, they love dip nails, because I've seen members inside her group who go really fancy and crazy. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is gorgeous. I don't know how they do that, Leah. But when Leah says she's got her MVP dialed in, she's got her MVP. Like, people that love dip nails DIY, they love them and they go all out. So thank you for that. And then Kajwa is going to drop her link as well too, if you want to follow her as well too. You can go ahead and follow her as well there too. So let's talk about sales. Let's talk about sales, and then let's talk about, like, some of the collaboration that we've brought on as well too, because I think that's a really important conversation as we think about sales growth in our business going into 2022, right? So, Kajal, I'll start with you this time. When you think about sales specifically, and if you can get really tactical, I think that's really helpful for the audience that's watching. What do you think is your biggest lesson when it comes to sales? in 2021 that you are now going to take into 2022?
My biggest lesson has just been very simple, that sales is a conversation. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to have a conversation with somebody who might be interested or might not know that they need my service. And in that conversation, it's really me asking the right questions and also advocating for them. So that has been huge on my end, especially in the space of health and wellness, self-love and healing. It's huge. And so how it's instead of thinking of it as like this is me trying to get a sale, it's me thinking about how am I advocating for their health and their wellness and their well-being. And this is something I am definitely taking with me into 2022 and really having more conversations with people, especially those who are inside my group, to get to know more of what's holding them back, what's preventing them, and then how can I help?
What would you say was your mindset about sales before that?
I was that person who like other people would DM me, like people would try to sell me stuff, and I'd be like, block. And I'm like, and then I think, we had a really good conversation during one of our Wednesday sessions together.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth, you gave us the example of the guy who private messaged you and you're like, and that like was such an eye opener for me, and I know for some of the clients too. To be like, it's just a conversation. Like if that person had approached me in person and say hello or say, hey, here's my business, I'm not just going to walk away, And so really understanding that, keeping that human connection online, and to really treating each other just like we're all just humans. Like we can just say hello and talk about our business, and if we're not for each other, then we can refer, we can find different ways to support each other instead of just blocking or like not friending them or ignoring them. And I start to see that too, and I'm like, dang, people just ignore me. That kind of sucks.
So the story, just for those that because we like to laugh, we laugh a lot too. Okay, so we just don't work hard. We like to laugh too. Because I would say someone would send me a DM and sell me something, and I would just block them. Like she would literally just block them in Facebook. And I said, "Do you do that in person too, where they give you their business card and you're like block?" She's like, "No, I don't do that in person." So I said, "Okay, it's easy for us online to sit behind our computer screens and our phones and block people when they're quote maybe pitching or selling and it feels lazy. But like to Kusha's point, what if we just focused on relationships, right? Like when people sell me and they like send me a DM, I don't react the way that I used to anymore, which is like be disgusted or oh my god, it's so sleazy, right? What I'll do is I'll just take it with a grain of salt and I'll just be like, okay, cool, right? And, depending on what they say, right? Or if they read me the wrong way, I might just like dish out a teaching lesson in there. Like, hey, I think there's a better way that you could sell this than the way that you approached me. This was how I experienced it. And I didn't think it was the most positive. And then they either will block me or take it for a grain of salt, right? But the thing is that, what we do in real life, we can extend that online too. And I think a lot of people forget to do that. So that's a great sales lesson going into 2022. So Leah, what about you? When you think about sales and your lessons that you've learned in 2021, like what are you bringing into 2022 for you?
Well, I'm with Kazuo too on the human connection and building a relationship, with the members inside your group. But maybe for me, a key lesson about sales that I'm taking into 2022 is raising my prices, actually, showing up into my group and really showing the authority, right, inside my group and why I am worth more and why my prices are going up. It's not just the economy, like everything is just so expensive now, but my services and my products, the cost of shipping and everything has gone up too. And so in order for me to really keep my business afloat is I have to raise my prices also. So that's what I'm taking to 2022 is making more money.
Yeah. And, I love that, Leah, for you. I really do. Because I know that you and I have talked about your price point and things like that too. And I often say that, raising our prices, that money story that we have for ourselves is huge. It's not just about adding more zeros and saying, oh, I'm worth it, right? But it's really about, yeah, you raise your price point, but you also got to elevate everything else. You got to elevate you've got to elevate your mindset, you've got to elevate your brand, you've got to elevate your whole packaging. Your price point is just one piece of your package, right? And so it really does take a mindset shift as well as a skill set shift. And I'm really excited, Leah, for you to share that because, yes, prices will continue to go up. It does not mean that people are not going to buy. What it means is that, and for those that are watching, is that, I often say there's a pricing objection at every level, like even free, right? Because if free really was money was a problem, free, your workshops, your offers would be sold out all the time, right? And so, when Leah talks about this for Leah, I'm really excited about it because, I'm a really big, in terms of looking at what the marketplace is doing. And I said this to Leah so many different times. And I was just talking to someone yesterday who's also in the lash beauty industry. And I said, look, the beauty space is so competitive for a reason. Like there's so many people who want to do their nails, who love doing their nails. They're looking for more ways to self-pamper. It's not going to be going away anytime soon. So do not wait to claim your space and own your category, right? Like I said, Adia, you are the dip queen, like own it, right? And so I'm really excited for Leah to do that in 2021, or excuse me, 2022 as well. So one of the reasons why we collaborated was because, one of the values that we really, I think, just across each of us as business owners was really valuing relationships. I hope that if you're watching this, you find that, if you're here inside my community, it's because we share common values and perspectives and lens on the way that we do business that I think is very unique. And so I'm going to give Kajua and Leah an opportunity here to talk about some of the offers that they have going on for the holiday, because I think it's important that if you're a business owner and you've been thinking about how to continue to grow your business, especially during the holidays with Christmas right around the corner, stepping into 2022, is to challenge yourself with how can I begin to partner and collaborate with more people? Okay, this is such a key lesson for you in 2022. I want you to rise up to that challenge and really focus on how can I create more collaborations and partnerships. Okay, I know this sounds really simple for many of you, but this is going to be really hard to execute on. And here's why. Are you listening? I hope that you're listening. The reason why it's so much harder to do, easier said than done, is that you're so busy working in your business that when you're collaborating and partnering with someone else to try to promote their business, you don't have time for that. This is often the common mistake when people think that they can easily grow their business with referrals or incentives, is that no one has time to promote other people's business because they're still trying to be too busy promoting their business, right? But I want you to challenge yourself to say, how can I be a better partner? How can I be a better collaborator to show up to support someone else to grow their business? Why? Because then it'll be reciprocated in your business. Okay. This is the law of reciprocity. It goes a long way. Do not underestimate this, right? So, Dia, I'm going to pull this up. Or, sorry, Leah. I call you Dia because it's Dip Leah, Yeah. Tell me about the deal that you have going on. What's your offer all about? And share with the audience, like, how long is this happening and when it's going to go, when it's happening.
So, what I have in my offer is actually an annual subscription. Okay. So every month I have a monthly subscription for a nail art masterclass where I will send out 2 colors and then 1 nail art item, and I offer a masterclass where I would teach the subscriber how to use that nail art item and show them, many different designs to use the item to create. And so for this offer, instead of doing the monthly rate, I actually have a savings if you buy the whole year subscription. And so every month for the starting January until the till December of next year, the person who subscribe with this offer will be receiving that nail art kit every month, and also access to the master class every month.
I love that. So if you love doing your nails, right, you just have to subscribe every month. Leah's going to come up with fun, creative ways to do your nails. You get the box of the kit sent to you. You just got to show up for the class and then do your nails too. I mean, that's such a really great way of doing this with a friend, with maybe your daughter or girlfriend or a sister. It's a really great way if you just really love doing your own nails and love the variety and the change and the creativity. When I talk to dip queens who love to do their nails, they tell me that it's very therapeutic, that it feels like therapy for just like doing your nails, and it's just that time to do it yourselves. And some of them do it and like it's amazing. So this is a really fun way of, I think, paying it forward to women who loves to just have nails. And what I love about the dip, and I learned this from Leah, is that you don't have to have like super long nails to do this for yourself. Like I don't like long nails because it slows down my typing game and my text messaging game. So I love short nails. But what I love about Leah's dip nail products, because I use it myself, is that it actually keeps my nails really hard, so then it doesn't chip or break as much. And so when I'm pounding away at the typewriter, it just kind of keeps it, in check, and it looks great on camera too. So thank you for that, Leah. So my team's dropped the link in here if you want to take a look at that. It's a great way for you to also save on this. I'm really excited about this for not only for Leah, but for a lot of the dip DIY nail queens who love to do their own nails as well. So thank you for that, Leah. So what about you, Kajal? What do you have going on?
So this coming Saturday, December 4th, I have a online yoga and meditation retreat. So this is for all of you who think you know what I do, but don't really know and want to check me out before investing. This is a great opportunity for you to come on and check me out and what I do. So this is a 4-hour virtual yoga and meditation retreat happening this Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And you're going to be with my clients, and you'll get to meet my clients. You get to meet other folks who are coming. And we're going to take this time to really find relaxation and to really close out 2021 in a peaceful manner. And so I will be introducing yoga and meditation to all of you. If you have never done yoga or meditation before, do not worry. You can still come. Everything is very slow paced and very relaxing. So I promise, if anything, if you didn't get anything out of it, you will walk out feeling completely rejuvenated. And so I understand this is a stressful time for everybody. And so let's come together, close out 2021, and be ready to embrace and to be open to what 2022 has to offer.
So Kajal, you gotta share the story about the Hmong clothes, because when you told me about your vision and how this came to you, I got goosebumps when you were telling me this. So could you just share a little bit about the Hmong clothes and kind of how you're bringing that together into your yoga retreat too?
Yeah, definitely. The title of this is called The Journey Home. And so embracing all that we are by putting on a piece of clothing that is meaningful to you. And it can be, maybe something that your mom gifted you or something that your mother-in-law gifted you. And the thing is that most of these clothing are just sitting in our suitcase, or they're just hanging up in our closet. And so what a wonderful way to celebrate who we are by coming back home. And what I mean by coming back home is coming back home to our breath, coming back home to our body. And imagine yourself sitting in meditation, sitting in stillness, wrapped with a Hmong jacket that has meaning to you. Just imagine how that's going to feel in that moment, and how you're going to really have a deeper understanding of who you are, and all that you are, as you know, as a Hmong person, as a Hmong woman. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, when Gajah shared that with me, I got like goosebumps, because if you are not familiar with the Hmong culture, right, one of the things that, obviously I'm Hmong, that the Hmong people are known for is being, tribal people, right? And oftentimes when I think about just our traditional wear, and even when I teach my own kids this, who are very Americanized and westernized, there's something to be said about, especially, for me as a daughter-in-law, when I get married, my mother-in-law grants me a very traditional set of clothing. And it's this very emotional, very magical ceremony when you get married traditionally. And there's something to be said when you put on your traditional Hmong outfit, whether it's the jacket, the skirt, or even the hat or the jewelry, that it just kind of grounds. There's this sense of grounding, right? That kind of, to what Kajwa says, brings you back home. And I really love how Kajwa is embracing this Eastern, Hmong meets Western, sort of piece of yoga, so to speak, even though yoga is not really westernized, but it's more popularized now here in the West, and kind of bringing this and really bringing this to just a very specific group of communities. So thank you, Kajal, for that as well, too. I am so excited. I won't be here. Otherwise, I would be at this Kajal's retreat. I'm going out of town, but I'm really excited about this as well. So thank you for that. Now, I want to encourage those of you too that are watching this and you're like, wow, as we think about 2022 in my business, where do I want to go with it? I know that that goal setting is really important, right? But I'm also going to be hosting a strategic sales goals retreat that's happening on December 9th and 10th for 2 hours each day. And the way that I'm doing this, that I think you're going to find that's really different, is that I just don't want you to think about goals. Like, these are all the things that I want to accomplish in 2022, right? I want you to come to the table and really say, these are the things that I want to accomplish in 2022, but which ones are the big needles that are going to move, the big dominoes that are going to move the needle in my business? Which ones are the ones that I must prioritize working alongside Elizabeth? And she's going to say, okay, great goals, but 2 of these gotta go. Or these are the 2 that you really need to focus on. That's really going to move the needle in your business, right? And just for those that haven't heard, in 2022, I'm going to be creating a high performance book club that I'm going to be launching right here inside of our group. And for those, I think I got 8 spots left. I think it's 8 spots. Last time I counted, that are going to be getting their first book for the book club that we're starting off in 2022 inside of this group, as well as a free annual membership that I am doing for the book club, right? And so this is a great way for you, if you want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, right? You want to be surrounded by people that are going to really help be that sounding board of like accountability. Is this the right priorities in my business I need to be working on? And if you love to grow and really want to do more of that growth mindset in 2022, I highly encourage you to come. Okay. This is going to be a game changer for you. I think a lot of times people want to plan and think about really the growth in their business, and they have this whole list of things to do. But the truth is that if you're going to grow your business, you've got to get laser focused and really move the big dominoes that are going to move the needle in your business and for your team. Okay. And so one of the things that we're going to cover is really like, what are the goals that you should be focused on based on the stage of your business? Okay. This is not for you if you're, thinking of just starting a business, right? Like you have a whole bunch of ideas. This is for you, whether it's a business or maybe an initiative you're launching inside the community and you need funding, right? Sales is money. Money is funding in your business as well as your initiatives inside the community. I want to encourage you to come. You'll also get a chance to invest in a strength and selling assessment with me, and we can do this before the retreat so that when you come into the retreat, you have a clear vision and understanding of what your strengths are in selling and that how that's going to contribute to your sales goals in 2022. All right. So my team's dropped a link here as we begin to wrap up today's show. I highly encourage you to check us out and pay it forward, whether it's for yourself or maybe it's a gift to someone. I really want to encourage you to investing in small business owners, right? So as we begin to wrap up today's show, Kajua and Leah, any last minute words of wisdom for those that are watching as they step up in 2022, where you're just like, you know what, like this was a mistake I made early on in my business, but now that I'm where I am today, like here's what the audience needs to know in 2022 as they grow and step into their own growth in 2022 in their business.
Yeah. So my advice is to keep believing in you and your dreams. You know, you are your biggest advocate for your dream, um, especially if you don't have Elizabeth in your corner. Because sometimes I need Elizabeth to remind me of my dreams, okay? But, when really, in reality, you are responsible for yourself and you need to be your biggest believer in your dream. If you don't believe in it, you're gonna, get burned out and let it sit on the back burner and not touch it and not do anything, and you won't move forward. But if you keep believing in it, even when things get hard, you take a break and you come right back and you go full force at it again. And I feel like for me, 2021, that's what kept me afloating, was just to keep coming back, keep revisit my dreams again, and keep believing in myself.
I love that, Leah. So powerful. What about you, Kasha?
Gives me goosebumps just thinking about this. I think one thing for sure is that, when I jumped into the entrepreneur world, I really thought that I had to like reinvent myself. I really thought that I had to change who I am, the way I look, the way I talk, what I believe in. But the truth was I went back exactly to who I used to be. And and that is something I learned as a business person, is leading from the heart and really following my intuition and really sharing deep parts of my life that I never thought I would share publicly with people. And that has been one of the biggest, like, revealing moments for me, is just really showing up on my Thursday lives and sharing about my journey, and learning that that's impacting and changing other people's lives has just been so deep that I don't have any words to describe. But I think, as you lead into 2022, it's just leading with your heart and showing up exactly as who you are. That's how people know and trust you.
That's beautiful advice too. And here's my advice to you as we begin to wrap up, building upon what Kajal and Leah has shared for you as well too, right? I often get asked two things, Elizabeth, how do I prioritize and say no more? And I often say, in order for you to say no, you got to get really clear on what you're saying yes to. When you can say yes to what you really want in life and claim your sales goals, right? Because you are the cause and money is only the effect. Once you claim that and you say yes to that, it is so much easier to say no to other people, other things. I want to give you an example from my own experience, right? Because I think that as you step into 2022, whether you have me or other people like Kajua and Leah in your corner, that this is so important, I think, for you to keep in mind. I recently had an opportunity that came on board to create a program for a business that was said, hey, could you do this for $10,000, right? I went back in that proposal and I said, absolutely, I cannot do it for less than $30,000. The old me would have looked at that $10,000 and would have said, oh my goodness, I'm going to go ahead and like do everything I can because that sounds like a lot of money, right? But the new me, now knowing that I have said yes to what I have committed to in 2022, said no. I said no because not only am I saying to myself that I am valuing my time, but what I'm really saying is that what I have committed to in 2022, right, is a bigger yes to myself. It's a bigger yes to my business. And I am committed to making 2022 happen because I believe that those ideas or those visions or those programs and events that I have committed myself to in 2022, it did not just pop into my head by accident. That it was really been my calling and my purpose is saying, Elizabeth, it is time that you play a bigger game. And anything that comes along, right, that I believe is a great opportunity, even if the money's there, it's got to be on my terms and my conditions, right? What this organization wanted may have been, a program that's a shorter duration at, quote, a lower price point. But I know the results are not going to be there. The results that really this organization really needed to make a difference in their organization is not going to be there. And what I am committed to is the results that if I'm going to invest my time and effort into anyone or anybody or any organization, that I'm going to do it to Kashua and Leah's point, believing in myself and leading with my heart. And as we wrap up today's episode, I just want to reiterate that if you are leading with your heart, there are going to be moments where it's going to sting. There's going to be moments where you're going to feel rejected. You're going to feel like it hurts, right? And it should, because that's how you know that you are truly leading with heart, right? Because if you weren't, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't sting, right? And even when I've gotten no's, even when people have misunderstood me, I have made the intention to say, I'm going to lead with heart, and it's going to sting at times. But what's going to bring you back to Leah's point is, Leah says, come back to it. Come back to it. Believe in yourself, in your dream. I call that your bounce back rate. How are you going to bounce back? What is this? What feels, right, like a letdown? What feels like a failure is really your setup for your next success. So come back to that, bounce back to that, but do not compromise believing in yourself. You are your number one investor in your business and in your life. Next week, we're going to go ahead and continue this same place, same time. We got a lot of big, amazing changes coming inside of this community group. If this live stream, if this community has been adding value into your life, please, please, please continue to invite other people to join us here inside of the Hybrid CEO so that we can grow and create a tide to lift all ships. In 2022, there's going to be a lot of amazing, fun changes happening here. So who in your life, who do you know can benefit from being a part of our community? Invite them in and help us build and grow our community. Thanks so much. Same place, same time next week. I'll see you. Thanks, Kashua and Leah, for joining us today.
Thank you.